Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on KREM News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. Let's get right to it and join Thomas Patrick. He is standing by outside in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, wild night last night. The dog did not like the wind. You can just feel it, the house shaking a bit. What's in store for later today and tonight?
Yeah, I already got a few questions about, is it going to be as windy tonight? The answer is not as windy, but it's still going to be windy tonight, just to a lesser degree overall. Now, whether that means that you need to take a little extra, care for the pups inside, or maybe keep those inflatables tied down extra tight, that would be a well precaution for this evening. Now, our winds have been just a lot more manageable today. Our sustained winds have been about 15 miles per hour, and there hasn't been these stronger wind gusts. That's what would appear here. A wind gust is a 3-second burst of wind, and that is what's measured into that heightened wind speed. But generally, we're just feeling a manageable 15 mile per hour wind right now. Here's what it was last night, though. I mean, no wonder. 56 miles per hour is near severe. We've had isolated reports of some tree damage and, bits of some debris on the ground from early this morning, but thankfully we staved off any kind of widespread issues from last night. Now, it's just outright cloudy. There is some patches of rain right along the Oregon border here. Not sure if this over Grant County is hitting the ground at the moment, but it certainly is raining out towards Pendleton. What's happening is that this was the cold front last night, but it's stalled out and is about to reverse directions, becoming a warm front. So that's going to lead into rain this evening and, yes, some heightened winds once again. So coming up, we'll show you when that rain is set to arrive and the effects the rain will have all throughout the Pacific Northwest. All coming up.
Spokane's former city council president, Ben Stuckart, pleaded guilty to a federal charge from the Spokane ICE protests that happened over the summer. Now, the judge accepted his change of plea, but he was not taken into custody. That was part of a plea deal, and both sides also agreed to defer sentencing. So in the meantime, Stuckart can work to lessen his charges. After yesterday's hearing, we heard from Stuckart.
When ICE took Cesar and Joshua and put them in chains, I decided to try and stop them from taking my friends. At the time, it was my hope that the government would do the right thing and release them from custody. I understood what I was up against, but I felt it was necessary to take a stand. I accept full responsibility for my conduct.
So here's where we stand now. Stuckart is scheduled to be back in court coming up of June of 2027. Court documents say he will then plead guilty to a reduced misdemeanor charge, and the judge will then have a sentence hearing. 3 other protesters are on the schedule for plea change hearings today. Related all to this, Aaron Lang, Colin Muncie, and Bobby Silva, they were all arrested during the June protests as well. Investigators are still trying to figure out exactly how fentanyl got into the Kootenai County Jail over the weekend. 6 inmates had to be taken to a local hospital after suffering from overdoses. None died, and jail officials say they did use Narcan on the inmates. During that time, the jail asked law enforcement to arrest only the most crucial offenders because their staffing at that point was so low.
That took about 6 of our deputies, of our 9 deputies, being transported to the hospital. So when you have a critical incident like this, it's pretty shattering. It really depletes all our resources real quick. Our patrol deputies came in, they came in to help with the investigations and then to make sure the jail was still safe.
The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says they arrested a 37-year-old current inmate for possession of a controlled substance. Now, before this incident, the Sheriff's Office had already taken steps to get some mail scanners to keep contraband like this out. However, they can't confirm the fentanyl came through the mail, but contraband in the mail has been one of the jail's biggest vulnerabilities and certainly something they're trying to handle. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press say new Shoshone County Sheriff Will Eddy has certainly had a tough first few weeks on the job. You may remember the former sheriff resigned during a hit-and-run investigation, and then 2 top employees also quit. Eddy says the biggest challenge is a $1 million budget shortfall. Voters rejected a levy to help with funding, so now Eddy is limiting spending and shifting patrols off the freeway in order to cover more county roads. He is also still interviewing candidates for a new undersheriff, and he says rebuilding community trust at the same time. Washington Senator Maria Cantwell and the Republican senator from Tennessee has introduced what's called the Hustle Act. This is to help college athletes protect their money when earning name, image, and likeness deals, so NIL deals. The bipartisan bill would create a new NIL investment account that would allow student athletes to save a portion of their earnings. It also aims to protect athletes by placing some restrictions on athlete agents as well.